Welcome to the Type 2 Diabetes Brotherhood. This is day 541 that I'm type 2 diabetes free. It's June 13th, 2005. And I don't know, guys, I just laying back today thinking about everything. And the thought that I had today was how many people I've been trying to help throughout the time that I've reversed type 2 diabetes since 2003. And I kind of have a feeling of the way doctors feel. Like maybe I should say, I retract that. I would say healthcare practitioners, to play it safe. But after trying so long of dealing with people, hearing their struggles, trying to help them, a lot of people know that because I wear a continuous glucose monitor, they'll ask, "Oh, are you diabetic or what's going on?" You know, and I'm like, "Yeah, I used to be. I beat it." So then I get a lot of people asking me, especially being a content creator, "Well, what do I do? I want to do the same thing." And after story, when you try to help people and you tell them what I've done, what you did and how they can help themselves, and then you get no feedback, right? You get no action. So the sad part is most people that, when I got type 2 diabetes was like, it was months later where they're like, "How's the diabetes going?" "That's right, you don't drink, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I quit." And they're like, "Well, you're the last person I ever thought would quit drinking." So anyway, what's up with the diabetes? I beat it. And they're like, "That doesn't surprise me. You're a freaking animal. And like, what are you going to do now? Whatever. And so you're going to, not drink forever." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know, forever, but not now, not anytime soon." And I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of all into it, So I started a YouTube channel and I'm trying to help people out. And this was back in early 2024. And well, when they asked me, "What are you exactly doing?" And I said, "Well, teaching people to do what I did." And they says, "You're ridiculous, dude. Nobody's going to do what you've done. You're a fucking animal. You're not normal." And I refuse to believe in that. I refuse to think that there's a lot of people that won't do anything about their situation, that they'd be scared of amputations and all of the problems that come with type 2 diabetes. But it seems like it's the case. And I don't want to start out here all dismal. I'm just talking to you guys, man. I need somebody to talk to about this. Being a content creator, making stuff, you're trying to help people out. But bringing it back to what the healthcare practitioners, how they treat you like cattle and they just want to medicate you. And I think, like, if I was a medical practitioner and I saw my first 100 people and I tried to help them to no avail, and then it was next 1,000, 2,000, you do this day in, day out, you kind of come to the conclusion that there's hardly anybody that wants to do anything about their situation. And I retract the bad talking that I talk about doctors to a certain extent. I'm still not defending medical practitioners. I don't mean just doctors, but they want to prescribe stuff, and constantly. And I know there's a benefit from it financially and things like that. But I think there's also a benefit because if they don't prescribe, medications or supplements or something, it's like, obviously this person isn't going to change. And if I don't prescribe them something, they're most likely going to die or have amputations or complications and stuff. This is just a freight train that's not going to stop. And I don't know. What I'm about to say makes me feel like shit, but I almost feel like giving up on helping people in that way. Like I can't lie. I can't cheat anybody. It's not in my DNA. I'm not built that way. But I know that people don't want to be lectured, which I never feel like I'm really lecturing. I feel like it's positivity. I don't know. I don't get much feedback from it. Realize I'm not the most popular type of content creator on the subject matter. Nothing's flashy, it's just me being me in my environment. It's not the cleanest but I don't blame healthcare practitioners for giving up as well because they probably feel like I do. So what I've looked at is, give people what they want. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm moving a lot of content on my other channel called Adrian the Recovered Diabetic. No more. I'm actually going to delete all of my live videos that I put on. I'm going to delete all my long form videos, and I'm just going to focus on food. And I figured, the thing that people need the most is to eat foods that don't spike their blood sugars. And that's kind of where I'm moving towards. I know that a lot of people battle with sweets and things like that. So I looked and I says, well, where can I be the most helpful? What's something that I can do where I can make a difference where people will actually listen to me? If they're not going to listen to me on, if I'm becoming a lecturer or something, or like sounds like your dad, like you should this, that, and that's putting people off. Let's try to help people by filling their stomachs with at least stuff that doesn't spike their blood sugar. So I want to get this out of the way because if anybody starts following me and really gets into my content and my style and my Titan attitude, then they're going to see the other channel and say, well, what are you doing making donuts and pastries and things like that? So I don't know. Let me think about this for a minute. All right. I don't really edit these things, so I just had to take a break here for a second to figure out how to say this. And you guys are probably going to see me on the internet making donuts, pastries, cookies, and not just sweets and stuff like that. I want to make drinks, and I also want to make like keto, low carb food. And I don't endorse this and think that it's the right way to go. But the problem is, I know that society is not going to shift into off the clown food, and they're still going to want, their pastries, their basically remakes of bread, stuff that they're not supposed to eat. But I know that if I go to this direction, I put a lot of effort into making remakes, like, avocado bread made out of coconut flour, butter, avocados, less less chemicals. Like a lot of people don't know that baking powder actually has some of it has aluminum and flowing agents, and you can use such things as cream of tartar and baking soda and mix your own concoction at home. Right? I don't even think that a lot of people are even going to want to cook from scratch. Like it's a very tough decision to try to figure out where I'm navigating towards with all of this. So it just comes down to being where I think that I'm needed and applying myself there to be the most help that I can, right? So if a lot of you guys don't follow me, I beat type 2 diabetes back in 2023. I just went fucking animal ape shit on it. And that's what I've been wanting for other people. Once you crack the code, once you climb out Mount Everest, when all odds are supposedly stacked against you, it's hard to shut the fuck up and not start telling people and not to worry about people and come out and try to help them. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing here on the T2 Diabetes Brotherhood. Just I just got to figure out how I can deliver my message the right way, how I can actually help people, and that's going to be my focus there. So I'm inviting you guys, if you do want to come to the Adrian the Recovered Diabetic channel, you'll find lots of recipes, lots of foods and stuff. But I just want to I kind of want to keep this channel special. This channel is special for the people who want to make that difference, right? I'm going to separate that. I'm going to separate the two channels. It's been bothering me. That's why I haven't been posting a lot. I was like, just trying to figure out, make sure I do the right thing. And the channel, Adrian the Recovered Diabetic, like I said, you guys are going to find all kinds of wonderful things there. Delicious foods. A lot of them are healthy. Some of them, they're healthier. So I just want to tell you guys, like, I don't think that you should be eating an avocado, chocolate, stevia sweetened donut every single day, right? I'm putting that out there for it. So at least people have this to shift to that's not going to spike their blood sugar, right? But it doesn't solve the problem of eating. But I know that people aren't going to stop. But the people who want to stop the clown food, you know, and you guys don't have to not eat donuts too. You can have, this is for the people with self-control, right? That's what I look at. A lot of people I think are going to eat my donuts, eat my chocolate brownies and my avocado bread, right? And a lot of the cheese and all that kind of stuff that I know is not the complete healthy top-notch thing to do, but it's way better than the circus clown food. But it doesn't mean that you guys can't enjoy a cupcake and stuff, but you have to be careful because one of the things I found in myself, as hardcore as I am, even eating apples, whipped cream, strawberries, and stuff like that, sometimes that's all I think about. And I'm like, I know it's my day. Like today wasn't too bad, right? I knew I was going to have strawberries and whipped cream, but it wasn't like I was thinking about it all day. But a lot of the times when I go without even fructose, the sugar and fruit, it gets you all excited, man. And it's easily for you to start um, having it one strawberry, two strawberries, five strawberries is fine, right? But then it starts turning into 10, 20. It turns into a strawberry pie and then a strawberry shortcake. And you're just looking to just, you get that sugar just reels you in. So if you have self-control, and I think some strawberries, blueberries, and things like that, some of the foods I make with the carbohydrates is actually a healthy thing. Like you don't just want to flatline your blood sugar and never spike at all. Like it's good to have a little bit of variety and eating with the flow of nature, right? When things are seasonal and just giving yourself that little bit every time. I don't believe in just 1000% carnivore, like eat like our ancestors. Our ancestors probably were eating whatever the fuck they can find, like tubers and berries and stuff. I guarantee you they were finding something, right? They were always out there foraging. So it's not like they never came across this. They came across honey every once in a while, though they had to fight tooth and nail to get it, right? But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I would bring this message out today. I sincerely want to keep this one devoted, the T2 Diabetes Brotherhood, for those who need it, who those need the help, the push, the inspiration. I had to go it alone. I did not have family, friends around me. In fact, there's nothing nobody can do anyways, right? I don't even know what that even fucking means. Like, I met a guy and he's like, I can't believe you quit drinking by yourself. No support around family. Like, you weren't around people. Like, you just did it by yourself. He was just astounded. And I'm like, I have no idea what that fucking means, why it's so hardcore. Right? I'm just wired different, I guess. But I want to be the inspiration that helps you guys out here. And I know I didn't probably give you guys any cookies, nothing to take home here other than I guess I hope that you guys have trust in knowing that I'm transparent with everything that I do. And my whole goal is to help people. We need somebody out there, a spokesperson for the type 2 diabetes community, and especially for men who, middle-aged men or men in general, I guess. There needs to be a spot for them to be able to vent and to be able to figure things out and have somebody real, you know, somebody who's actually done it. And that's where I hope to fill in this gap. There's a whole lot coming over here. If I could think of one cookie though, guys, since this one was like a lull one, I don't even think it's probably going to be popular. Is another down lull thing that's not popular and exciting and sexy is when I talk about mindset all the time. And you just have to get that mindset clicked. Now, I talk about this on my shorts. You got to figure out who you are, what you're doing, because before you would start implementing any kind of these tactics or utilizing any tips or anything like that, they're only so good as long as you believe in them and you have a plan. That's like my cookie takeaway today, guys. You have to have a plan. You have to believe in yourself and you have to have that mind switch. It's a mind fuck out there, right? Burger joints in every corner. Your friends are drinking. Your family's probably eating chocolate chip cookies in front of you. They don't understand what it is to be faced with life and death, like a situation where, you know what, my life could be shorter because of this situation, because of type 2 diabetes. There's many, many bad things that can happen to me. And hopefully I don't get in trouble with this dialogue on from the algorithm, but it's true. I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to say? But it comes into that mindset where you have to be powerful, strong as a man to understand that you got to stand on your own 2 feet and you have to make shit happen for yourself because nobody's coming for you. And the worst person that's going to fuck you up in all this is your inner dialogue. I spoke about this before. You got to get that mindset straight. Look, I want to beat this. I want to be done with it. I want to live a healthier life. The way I consider this is I've partied my young life. I just partied my ass off. I completely started ruining my body. It was a good time though. I don't regret a lot of it. I just wish I didn't get type 2 diabetes and could have drank for the rest of my life, right? In moderation. But I pushed the limits too far. Now it's time to quit. So now this last half of my life is going to be devoted towards health, nutrition, and living the longest I can being the best that I can without all of that shit. And all of that shit, once you get past it, that's like childish shit. That's where people drink to sit and slobber all over themselves. And I look back, I look now as I'm sober, watching people get shit faced, and it's like, it's pathetic. It's sad. It takes the motivation away from people. It makes them lazy. I know myself, if there was something I was going to do, once I started drinking, all those plans, everything, they went down the poop chute, right? And I woke up in the morning feeling like shit, hungover. And anyways, mindset, guys, get the mindset straight, and then you're unfucking stoppable. Welcome to the type 2 diabetes brotherhood, my brothers.